You are not a consumer. You are not naturally a consumer. You are forced into consumerism. What do I mean by that? So, when I was working, wow, such a beautiful insect. When I was doing my regular job, just like you know, then I was also a consumer. Not that much as in comparison to other people around me, but I come from a city, and you know how city life is. You know, uh, yeah, somehow you are made to feel that you have to consume more. You know, cities do that to you, ain't they? They make you feel like you need to get the best of sofas you need to get the best of furnitures, you know for your room. You need to get best of uh, I don't know. I'm liking this insect out here. Wow. I just like to watch insects at times, and I can get distracted by them at times. So yes. So I like to watch birds too. I like to watch animals. Whatever. So where was I? Yes, you are forced into consumerism, and especially if you're a city person, somehow, you are carried away by the energy of the city. Somehow everybody is trying to be more, than the other person. Nobody's trying to be, nobody's trying to know themselves, but everybody is just trying to be something more, okay, than what the other person is, you know and you just made to think you need to get the best of the cars. You were just made to think that you need to get the best of phones. You're just made to think that you also need to upgrade your phone every time, which is weird. I never got the whole point. Like, why upgrade my phone? Why? And why are they getting, you know why can't we have one phone for a lifetime, you know until there is like really a great technology. you know what's the point of changing a phone? Like, I'm sure there are certain features that get changed, and certain updated features, everything that goes into it. But I don't know, like, aren't we just made to think that we need to get the upgraded version of our phones? Very weirdly, you know like, market makes you think that you need to get the upgraded version of the phones, and that those upgraded versions just did not really make a difference in your life, like a very way big difference. Just because you have money, you do it, right? Somehow, there is this energy, in the market, that you need to be a consumer because we are selling. And and what's your mentality? You are made to what you think, what makes you get into consumership. So why am I talking around this? Because I have been a consumer. I am still, of course. You cannot completely deny it, you cannot completely cut it off. Yes, but I am trying to be less and less of a consumer. you know a reason because I have taken up to the path of spirituality for like a full time spirituality. I've taken it up. I've quit my job because my job strengthens the matrix. So I was a teacher in a school, in a local city school, and I quit my job because I thought that schools are a way of strengthening the matrix. and the pain of being in it while you're awake, while you are conscious, while your eyes are wide open, you cannot be there anymore. Okay, so I've quit my job, and yeah, the a reason is I want to, you know, yeah, I don't want to be a consumer anymore. I always never wanted to be a consumer anymore. Like somewhere deep down I felt like I want to contribute to Mother Earth. I want to be less of consumer. I don't want to, take these plastic bags from, the grocery stores, and I don't want to get this from vegetable vendors. I just don't want to take this, you know and I felt I want to be less and less of, you know uh, consumer. I've always felt that, but I just couldn't bring it into my life. Okay, until now, and what has changed, if you are also somebody, who wants to change things about their life, who wants to contribute back to the Mother Earth, because literally we are at the verge of climate change and whatnot. If you feel a sense that you need to contribute to Mother Earth in some way, she is a living entity too. you know Especially the Indian culture has always acknowledged her as, a deity, as a presence itself, a feminine persona itself. Feminine persona nahi, as a feminine soul herself. Yeah, she is a entity in her own self. So I do feel like I want to, contribute to Mother Earth, but I was just caught up at, at a stage in my spiritual journey where I was just too caught up, and I was trying to get my lessons and everything, and I just could not devote my attention to this part of my life. But now I'm able to. I've gotten over some of my karmic patterns, I've gotten over some of my karmic situations and everything, and I'm more free, to contribute to my Mother Earth. and and also I want to make this video for that reason. So yeah, the very and the more and more, I am so spirituality is that, the more spiritual you become, the more and more you become yourself. Okay, so the more and more I became myself, I realized I do not need to consume that much at that much rate that I was consuming when I was so stressed. I was into relationships, friendships, in jobs, in certain situations where, you know, I didn't resonate with. It was taking a lot of my energy and time and everything. So yeah, I had to clear out my karmic patterns. I have to spiritually evolve. I had to do my inner work, and yeah, I realized that because it's a loop. Okay, it's a loop. Okay, uh, it's a loop. It's a damn loop. इसे साइकिल बोलते हैं, कार्मिक साइकिल बोलते हैं, इसे लूप बोलते हैं. पता है क्यों? क्योंकि there is no way out. you know for example, you're working from Monday to Saturday. Okay, like अगर हम regular corporate jobs की बात करें, so you're working from Monday to Saturday, and then even on Sunday you're on calls, ain't you? So because majority are in corporates is what I find in India, right? And so, let's say you're in corporate, you're working from Monday to Saturday. You're stressed, you are doing something that you don't really like or enjoy, but you're doing it for the survival. You're doing it because you're getting the money, right? And we all need money, and I am not against it at all. We all need money because we live in a stupid world. So yeah, so Yeah, you're working from Monday to Saturday. You are so stressed. You do not feel yourself. Okay. You're living a life that you don't want to. Yes. And hence you will consume on a Sunday. You will go and you want a different high for a Sunday. Your energy is wow. Wow. She just flew over. I don't know. Okay. I like it. So, आप मंडे से सैटरडे तक काम कर रहे हो, ठीक है, तो आपको मन तो करेगा ही ना कि संडे को आप कंज्यूम करो. यू नो you will somehow eat more, you will somehow entertain yourself more, you know you will, because there is this high. मतलब, let me say, a Monday to Saturday you are experiencing this low. So on a Sunday, that one day you have, you would want to get all your tiredness off. So you will be consuming that much, so get your tiredness down, to get your stress down. You just got that one Sunday to get your stress down, right? So you will be consuming much more, ain't you? So one low, and I mean 6 days of lows, and then you need a a different high on a Sunday, right? You will consume more. Okay, you will consume so much more. Okay, you want entertainment, you want, and what is the mentality of people who earn a lot? What is, the more you earn, the more they feel that now they need to spend, because they are like, हम कमा किसके लिए रहे हैं. ओके, वो हमारा कैपिटलिस्ट माइंडसेट, वसूली वाला माइंडसेट, यू नो even if it doesn't make sense, we will, even if it doesn't make sense to us, we will just do it because we want to, just consume everything out of it. you know Very capitalist mindset, like, put in, the cost price should be less but the selling price should always be more, right? So your effort, your input should be less but the output should be more. So, a very capitalist mindset. Okay, so you are definitely going to consume more, okay, out of it. Okay, even if it doesn't make sense. Okay, for example, even if you're not, let's say, feeling to do something, okay, but you want to, get that stress down, you've experienced that low, you want to feel a high right now, so you are definitely going to consume more, and consume not in terms of food, not in the many things that you consume, all right, without realizing, we have completely lost our balance, we've completely lost touch with the mother earth. Okay, हम बिल्कुल भूल गए हैं वो टच हमारी मदर अर्थ के साथ. ठीक है, हम we've totally lost it. you know we are consuming so much more, we're exploiting her so much more, so much garbage we are creating, of clothes, of 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 certain things, uh, and these are with all the people who earn, right? I What you really need is, maybe you just need to go travel to some place and just be, you lose that quality in you. Okay, because because you are a lot in that karmic situations, you know so you you naturally become a consumer, you naturally become somebody that you're not. But trust me, if those situations are not there, you have come out of it successfully, you want to come out of it successfully, you are not, इस एंड ये लगता लूप है, ओके, इट्स लाइक हम जॉब छोड़ नहीं सकते, ठीक है, तो हम यू नो हमें नेचुरली फिर फील होता है कि नहीं यार, मंडे टू सैटरडे के संडे को भी मूवी देखनी है, फ्राइडे नाइट मूवी देखनी है, फिर हमें यहाँ जाना है, फिर हमें ये चीज़ बाय करनी है, वी हैव टू बाय द बेस्ट ऑफ वॉचेस इन द वर्ल्ड, है ना, रोलेक्स की वॉच खरीदनी है, और दूसरी वॉच भी कुछ वैसा ही टाइम बताती है, बट वी हैव टू बाय दिस, and it's just, trust me, it's all see, we all can have passions, okay. I also have certain passions, I like buying diaries a lot. I also have certain passions, and yes, I do. Of course, I cannot not take from the nature, right? I mean, of course, papers are made from the nature, and I cannot not take from the nature, but I can just make sure that I do it in balance. So I make sure when I go to my grocery store, since I am more in my senses now, since I am more away from my stressful situations in life, since I evolved out of it, got out of from the loop, I am able to be more thoughtful, for Mother Earth. And I make sure that when I go to grocery store, I make sure that I don't take the polythene, or I take the cloth bag from my home, and get all the things in that, okay. So I do these small little things, as much as I can do, right? And yeah, and I'm becoming more thoughtful of being a consumer. When I was earning, I was not that very thoughtful, because I was so tired, I was so exhausted, I was so drained of those situations, but now, since I am out of those loops, I have learned my lessons, I'm out of those, I'm become more capable and thoughtful, and I don't even feel that urge more to be a consumer, as I was like comparatively, in back in those days, okay. So I just really wanted to come and share here, the more they want you to be stressed, they want you to feel like you have to get your scars corrected, they will make you feel like you need to get this skincare, it's very important, they're gonna make you feel like you need to get this expensive watch because that's going to make you feel more confident in a group of people, they will make you feel like you need to get this, you need to get that, and we all have passions, and respecting that, I'm not asking you to murder your passions at all, but there are certain things, where we don't have to be the consumer, okay, but we are consuming in those places, that restlessness is coming from your karmic situations, okay, that you're into, okay, and it's a loop, okay, it's a loop, okay. You feeling stress, you want to take out your stress, so you're gonna buy something, rather than going to a far off place, maybe traveling and just being, you know you will maybe become a hoarder, you know so I don't know, I just, this video is just, for you to just think about it, you know are you really a consumer? What if we take you out of those situations for a certain time? Will you still be that persona? For example, when I was very stressful, when I used to be little stressful, of certain situations in my life and everything, so I used to eat. I had a eating disorder, so I would eat a lot more, on those days. And even study shows that, like you eat more in stressful situations. Okay, so you become a consumer more. Okay, and now I've done enough work on myself, that I naturally feel that I want to contribute to the community around me. I want to contribute to people around me. I want to contribute back to my mother earth, you know. So now I'm a little more thoughtful, and I make sure that I don't buy things that are not necessary. Okay. And yeah, um, oh, earlier also it wasn't that very much, but yeah, I fairly sense a reduction, you know. So if they're making you feel like you need to go up the ladder of your corporate job, then maybe you don't have to. Maybe you just have to be, it was more restless you become, the more consumer you become, you know, the more karma you will create, okay, of being a consumer. Okay. So you know, जैसे, so मैं एक बहुत छोटे से एग्जाम्पल समझाती हूँ कर्मा क्या होता है. So let's say that you are very restless as a person, you know, and let's say you you are addicted to your phone. Let's say you are addicted to your social media. Let's say you're so much, even social media, consuming social media itself, you know, is, you know, like if you're feeling really peaceful, you know, there are times when I go into meditation and I feel so peaceful, and you know, somewhere around those days I don't even feel like picking up my phone. I just feel so naturally, you know, to be who I am, and I don't feel that I need much of a social media. I don't feel the much urge to even eat a lot, you know. I don't feel the urge. So naturally, when you are in a natural state, you are not a consumer. You are not. They have just, half the things they programmed you. Half of the things is just your restlessness. Okay, that's making you do things. So, and yeah. So how you're creating karma? Um, how are you creating karma for Mother Earth? You, okay. So how are you creating karma for you know? So when you, so let's say you are yeah, you cannot be without phone. Let's say, okay, and you have never been, you're so much addicted to your social media, and you know people who are there are certain, the little children were getting addicted to video games. Have you seen those news? Have you heard about them? They're getting so addicted to these phone screens and to video games, you know, that it's getting difficult for the parents, you know. And like many of them have to be given pills at times, you know, so they go to sleep. Okay. And they cry, you know, when they cry, and you know, they become very what do I say, they become very rigid, you know, when their phone is taken away from them. Yeah, they get so irritated so soon, you know. And that's what karma is, you know. If you have been you know, if you become a consumer for a long time, you know, then if you become a consumer for a long time, then it will be difficult for you, you know. For example, when wi-fi is not there, you know, and but you have that restlessness inside you, addicted to it, right? You're just not addicted to alcohol and smoking. Okay, let's just break the, you are even addicted to tea, right? Chai. Indians are. And why Indians are? Because Britishers came here, colonized them. They wanted to earn money, so they make you addicted to teas, right? They make you addicted to chai, right? And now I see the older generation. I do see they are so addicted to chai, and chai is so dehydrating to be, you know, to have it every day. Okay, it's just so dehydrating to have it any once in a while. It's just fine. So you're just not addicted to, you're not only consuming, you know, I'm not consuming itself is a disease. Consuming more than you need to is itself is a disease, you know. And we are consuming more because we are stressed more, because we put into, you know, those kind of things, you know, more. We are programmed to be a consumer. Okay, they will tell you that go and have a burger because and they will write down, you know, what they will write down below as a title is that it's a happiness, you know, have this chocolate, have this drink, you know, get your thirst off. Okay, can there be certainly can there be alternative to water? Can there ever be an alternative to water? Water is our one of the elements, one of the five elements. Can there be an alternative to that? Where there used to be, India had a culture where they used to keep water, they used to, do the pujas and artis of, they used to worship water, river bodies. They used to even worship, the water they keep at home in a pot or something, they will keep, and they will, do the puja and arti, and then they used to have those water. So imagine what those time were, and now how they're propagating that you can have an alternative somewhere for your thirst. Have this, you just programmed. They're trying to program you through advertisements. Okay, so you are programmed to be a consumer. Okay, you are programmed. They're putting more and more sugars in your food items. And they want you to fall asleep in the comfort of that sugar. you know Whereas yogic cultures, they always introduced and talked about eating bitter foods, which is very good. Even Krishna, wow. Oh, wow, these birds are very exotic, and I always see them. I've started to see them now a lot. Why these three birds, very beautiful, pretty, and so nice. Okay, so yeah, yogic foods, yogic cultures have always talked about having bitter foods like amla, like karela, and even Bhagavad Gita has sort of, wrote down about it. Okay, we used to have candies of imli. Imli is khatti, right? India used to make candies of, khatti miti imli. Okay, imli ko what do we say it in English? I don't know. I don't know. It's imli is a Hindi word for a fruit which is very rich in vitamin C. What do we say? Okay, forget it. So we used to have those candies. Now the candies are like full of sugars. They're full of sugars. They want our children to be asleep. Okay, bitter foods, they wake you up out of that slumber. They want you to have sugars, have comfort, have desserts, you know, and just sleep your way out. Okay, most of the things, for example, even things like brushing our teeth, you know, things like that. I mean, we are literally just brushing off a detergent into our mouth. It's literally, people like Rajiv Dikshit who wanted to talk about this, who were talking about this years ago. They were, you know, they were kind of, yeah, it is said that he was murdered by the great companies, you know, because he was trying to bring down their sale. He was trying to tell the truth. But now we live in a times where we can finally speak the truth, because of many reasons. That can be completely other video for some other time. But it's time to speak our truth. It's time to, really just share what you know. So yeah, I just came here to tell you that we are not naturally consumers. Since we are, programmed a lot, we are made to put into situations that we don't want to, for our survival. We are a lot into stressful situations and everything, and hence we have experienced that low, we need that high too. You buy perfumes that are, there was a time when, they were, yeah, they were, I don't know, it was a French history or something, I don't know what. But I think perfumes were first introduced in, like in like some French society or something, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. So there were used to be, I mean, the perfumes. Of course, India had ithers, back in the history. But like perfume came and perfume industry came. I think it was like France, if I'm not wrong. So there was this Yeah, so they used to have these flavors and smell and fragrances for middle class that were kept for middle class, and then there were fragrances for upper class. So that's how they used to smell and get to know like who belongs to who. Like there's an expensive smell, like you're so programmed with the smell as well. This is a smell of the upper class. So middle classes, what they used to do, they wanted to buy those upper class perfumes. Okay, they wanted to buy those upper class perfumes. So you will made to feel that you always have to buy something. You just, yeah, you put into that illusion of buying, that this is the upper class, this is what upper class wears, this is what upper class does. You have to be like them. So you have to do this, you have to buy this, you have to become this, you have to have this you have to have this furniture at your home. So you look like a more upper class, and stuff like that. So yeah, you are not naturally a consumer, trust me. We had Shiva was a very uh, he, he was a very handsome man, but it is said that he would wear lion clothes, and he would wear uh, vibhuti all over he would put ashes all over his body, and that's how he used to be. Okay, so that is how Shiva was. So less of a consumer, and yet so blissed out. He would sit at graveyards, and he would be just so blissed out, right? He never needed much of a consuming. So when you spiritually evolve, when you get out of those karmic loops, when you get out of those karmic situations, you naturally become less of a consumer. You naturally become more and more yourself without things, without materials. And yes, it's completely a different task and a challenge to get off those karmic situations and stuff. And and yet it is so easy. I mean, you just have to have a look at it. You have to fill your heart with all the pain, all the bitterness of the truth. You have to fill your heart with that. And then just beg to the universe, I want to be out of it. Show me the way. And then just be courageous for. I know it's just so easier than said. I mean, it's just so easily said. And it's just so, it's little challenging when you're really into it. But that's the way. That's the way out of the matrix. you know I know there are a lot of people who are endorsing that I am out of the matrix. How can you get out of the matrix? Earn this much, earn that much. He has like five girls around him in bikini, and he's trying to tell you that and I have this car, I have this great car, all the girls like me, I am all the women are attracted to me because I got money. Like, there are people out, I don't have to take the name, right? And these people are saying that have escaped the matrix. No, brother, you haven't escaped the matrix. You are so much in the matrix, right? The real how can you really get out of the matrix is when you find yourself, and when you feel that peace inside of you. You've done the enough inner work. You have seen more and more truth. You've been a little courageous, and you've connected to the universe, and you naturally feel a peace, and you don't feel like being a consumer anymore. That's when you're really out of the matrix. I end my video with this. Thank you for watching. Comment down if you have certain thoughts around it. Thank you for watching.